Really? So, talk about having a bit of a go at us. I think we've definitely got some interference going on tonight. So put some positive love out there for us, which they don't like that, the positive love. So, and we haven't lost our rag. So, you know, we've been smiling.
Lost our rag.
Oh, you don't have that word? No.
Is that a tampon?
No!
That's what it sounds like.
Is a rag a name for a tampon then?
I don't know. Women get...
Like, throw your rag. You're like, that's it, I've had enough. And you throw.
I've heard, you know, like, quit ragging on me. That kind of... I've heard it say that way, but lost your rag? Like a do-rag? Like those do-rags?
Must be an English thing, my darling. Don't know.
I don't know.
You like your wording. Hello, everyone.
Welcome back. Hi to Mel and Claudette. Thanks for coming back.
We probably lost everybody.
Except Mel and Claudette.
Yeah.
It'll just be the four of us.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Persevering with us. We appreciate that very much.
I had to re-sign in 6 times because Ali's Facebook page wasn't being accepted. And I thought it was mine, so I ended up deleting my Facebook pages on TalkStream and then re-adding them, and it still didn't make a difference. So I thought, well, it's got to be her. And it was. So we're not on Ali's Facebook page, but we are on her YouTube channel. My personal Facebook page, the In5d Facebook page, In5d channel, Twitch, X, and hopefully Rumble. Yikes.
Wow. What a week. What a week, hey? With so much going on. There's just a lot. What do you guys think about this week? What's been happening? What have you been noticing? So I've been definitely watching the Diddy trial. Been watching that. Oh, that man's evil. Evil personified. Mind games, mind control, coercing. He literally goes up to people and just, like men, and just grabs them by the crutch. And it's like they don't feel as if they can say anything.
They can't.
Because he can cancel them just like that. He's that type of person that can just do that. So of course they kind of like laugh it off. And then later on there's like gifts that are sent, or, you know, keep your mouth shut. You know, this so much.
Incense and robes you were mentioning.
Oh yeah, when they were, you know, they have these baths. They go, and all these men are sitting in a bath, you know, all naked, and it's like the guy the new person that comes down there to sit with, and all these famous faces are there, and it's like, we're all mates, you know, let's you know, this is a guy thing, you know, we're just gonna kind of hang out and listen. But there's something in the incense. There's a funny smell in the incense. There's like jazz music, but even that has got some sort of hypnotic thing, you know, and it's like they don't do anything, and then all of a sudden there's some games that they play. Like every time the playlist comes to an end, everybody's got to get up and move about, but you have to touch shoulders, you know, things like that. And if anybody feels uncomfortable and leaves, they are then hounded, you know, and, you know, they find that they're, you know, if they had a film deal, that deal's gone, you know, and they then send them like because they were all given black robes, like satin robes, and so they just send a satin robe in the post, or they send incense sticks that were used that night. and lots of, you know, things like that. It's like these things haunt a guy because, you know, for a woman, a lot of, I'm going to say women, I feel there's a lot of women that have experimented. Men, it's like a no-go area. You know, it's like, you know, if there are some obviously open-minded men, and that's absolutely fine. But when you're completely straight, it's an insult for a man to come along and grab you by the crutch. It like
challenges your masculinity.
That's what it does. And you know, they want to punch out. That's the thing that they want to do. And so, you know, this is all coming out in the Diddy trial. But be careful out there, because there are some which I got mistakenly hooked in. There is some AI generated you know, people who are testifying, and you know, they've said that Brad Pitt was there. They've said that even Kamala Harris, they've said, you know, Tom Cruise and things like that. They're all out there. These are fake profiles, but they use verbatim from inner city press. Now, he is a very kosher guy who actually does, you know, he does a lot of the court stuff, and he does the transcribing. And so he, you know, everyone thinks, well, if it's them, then it's definite. But it isn't, because I went to his channel, and he's basically talking about this AI stuff that's been made up. So just be aware. But you know, there's still some big names coming out, and all of these people like Brad Pitt and, you know, Tom Hanks, Jack Nicholson, you know, all of these people are being mentioned. Okay, so any one of those can be subpoenaed to come in. Okay, so you know, there's still some more time left, but the truth is coming out there. This is the downfall of the music industry, movies. You know, we've been waiting for this. So yeah.
I was thinking earlier today, what has taken down Hollywood, and when did that begin? What do you think?
It had to be the arrest of well, it was the ankle bracelets first of all, I believe. You know, when with the COVID thing, and you know, everyone was, you know, seeing these ankle bracelets, like Oprah Winfrey. She had an ankle bracelet on when she was interviewing Meg Markle and Prince Harry. There was one on her ankle by her boot. There was one there. DeGeneres, she had an ankle bracelet on. Tom Hanks had ankle bracelet on. So there was a lot of that going on, and I think people were starting to go, there's something not quite right here. When do you think it started?
Well, before I get to that, there was some bullshit going on that I read on X. There's a lot of crap on X. You know, I'm grateful for the free speech, but it also creates a lot of free bullshit. And one of the bullshit points I read about was that there was a court order for Ellen DeGeneres. And there wasn't. It's bullshit. You know, you would have heard about it. There would have been a big stink going on in England when they had to export her, or whatever the fuck's that's called. It didn't happen, but there's so much shit that's going on there. Please use your own discernment. I read that and I'm like, no, this can't be true. You know, if it sounds too good to be true, like Nasara, it probably is bullshit. But when did Hollywood get started to start to get taken down? I was thinking about this. People looked up to Hollywood stars, you know, in 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. But in the 90s, things started to change. Why? Why did things change in the 90s? Start changing.
I don't know.
The same reason that we have a show right now, the internet, and we're able to connect together. They were able to hide shit from us for so long, but once we were able to get our truth out there without the influence of the mainstream media and the talking heads and their viewpoints, 4 a.m. talking points, all that bullshit, we started getting the truth. And they've been trying to suppress us ever since. Look at us being shadow banned, and many of you out there being shadow banned. They're still trying to suppress us. Look at us tonight. The interference, getting knocked off the air. Fuck you if you think that that's getting to us, because it's not. We're here, and we're still putting that word out.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was the 90s. The beginning of and the internet started before that. I think late 80s or something like that. But, you know, I didn't get my first computer until like 1993. Desktop. I didn't get my first laptop until like late 90s. I've had laptops ever since.
I used to be able to put new hard drives in one of those desktop things. Yeah. Yeah.
No way.
No.
Oh, back then.
Back then.
One gig was a lot.
Yeah.
Half a gig was a lot.
Put like a disk drive in and things like that.
Disc. Yeah, remember floppy disks?
Yeah, I put a new disk drive in. Yeah.
Wow.
But I think people started to notice all of this, you know, when the symbols and things like that, the ritual, and the black and white floor and things, you know, and that stuff. So all of that came out. Yeah. Bohemian Grove, I think Alex Jones, he found out that Bohemian Grove, he realized that he couldn't get in any other way, but there was a river that went right past this big owl where they did the sacrifices on. Moloch, yeah. And so he was videoing it, and I think Obama was there, I think, at that time. Not sure, but I think that he exposed that. So he's been going a long time. Yeah,
and you know, and the thing is, now that, I mean, look at the last election where Biden used, or Harris used, all these celebrities, Beyonce and who the hell else, you know, Taylor Swift was basically pushing Biden and all this shit. People aren't buying it. Why? Because of the internet. Because we're talking and we're not buying into the bullshit anymore.
But again, I think it was COVID, because they had to speed up their agenda. So it was all kind of like what David Icke used to call the totalitarian tiptoe. So everything was very slow. There's just more slow, you know. 9 and then 1-1 sped up the security and things. So that's what happened there. But then after that, it was like slow again, and then it sped up again during the pandemic. And people started to notice. They started to say, this doesn't add up. So you can get COVID at 9:55. You can't get it at 9:55 p.m. But at 10 o'clock you can, because that's when you have to leave the pub. The pub has to close at 10 p.m. And so COVID knows that at 10 p.m. that's it.
And you have to wear your stupid mask.
Yeah. It's like, this doesn't make sense. None of it makes sense.
Well, you brought up a good point, too. You know, like what I was saying about, you know, the beginning of the demise of Hollywood was probably in the 1990s, when computers and the World Wide Web started taking over and we could talk with each other. Well, you brought up a good point about 9.
1-on-1. Mm-hmm.
And people started seeing the videos, the whole, you know, the BBC TV thing of, you guys know what, I can't talk about it, but something collapsed 20 minutes before it actually happened on TV.
BBC said about it, oh, this building's come down. It's like, no, it hasn't. It's over your shoulder. but then it did after that. So
Yeah.
that was all.
Yeah. You know, and then people started talking, the disappearing wing going into the building, or how buildings in the background were ahead of one of the wings. All this shit, people are saying, wait a minute. And they're sharing the videos. And there's so many great 911 videos out there that if you think that that was the official story, you're fucking nuts.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not able to see the chat for some reason, my love, so you'll have to do the chat bit.
Okay. One other thing I wanted to get to, too. I was talking to you about this, I believe, yesterday. Ali and I have the greatest talks. We chatted for like 45 minutes before we came on air. I'm like, man, we should have said this on air. But that's our chat every night when I'm not trying to sexually molest her with words.
Stop now.
But one of the things we talked about yesterday was, you guys know that the elite, I don't even want to call them that, the scumbags, figure out a different word because the elite ain't in it. But those scumbags, you know, they're huge in numerology, as we are too, you know, but they use that power of numerology against us. And as we've seen, you know, through thank you to the internet, you know, a lot of people are getting awakened to the power of numerology and astrology, and, you know, like with astrology, how we learn from the cycles of time, you know, and how history repeats itself. Numerology, Ronald Reagan had a master numerologist. He wouldn't sign anything. President Reagan wouldn't sign anything until he consulted with his numerologist. That's how much they value this. Now, this is what Ali and I were talking about the other day. I was telling her how I was watching this one video, and the guy, this dude, I forgot what video, who it was, but the dude made a really good point. He said the 1900s, which most of us were born in the 1900s, was a 1 year, 1900, right? It was a one millennia. One is masculine. When we went to the twos, the 2000s, it's feminine. You think about the cycles of time, you know, of 12,000 years and so on and so forth, but those 12,000 years go from masculine to feminine, and what we're missing is the balance between them. But these fuckers are using that number 2. That's why they're pushing all this LGBTQ stuff. I don't care if you are or not. Just don't push it in my face. You know, that's the bottom line. I understand some people don't feel right in their bodies. You know, if that's how you feel,
that happens.
Yeah, no big deal. No big deal. But having a whole effing month, that's
can't
more
get away from June. It's just
exactly.
It's wrong, and the veterans should have that. Absolutely.
Yes. That's exactly where I was going. You know, why don't the people that protect our country get that kind of respect?
Yep.
Instead of giving it away to 3% of the population.
Yep.
Saw a great video today too on X.
Yep.
Occasionally you actually see a few good ones on there, but it was of this very butch-looking woman who said there was a child that was checking her out. And they kind of locked eyes. And I guess she approached the child, and the child said, "Are you a boy or a girl?" And the mother of the child said, "Oh, I'm sorry, we don't really, it doesn't matter to us." And she's trying to be, you know, apologetic. But the woman was actually pretty cool because she looked very butch, very short hair, tank top, and she looked like she was almost on steroids. But she said, you know, I'm a lady, or I'm a girl, but I choose to wear men's clothes. and kind of a light bulb went off on the child that that's okay, and it is. Who cares? You know, I give a flying fuck about what your clothing is. You know, if that's your lifestyle, that's fine. I don't care. You know, that's to me is cross dressing is no different than a man wearing a skirt. If that's your thing, I don't give a fuck. But she was really cool about it. But she also said there are only two genders, boys and girls.
Yeah.
She said, I just happen to look like a boy, but I'm a girl and I love being a girl. Yeah. What a great way to handle that situation.
Wonderful. And that's how it should be, instead of, the like rage and the anger. These liberal children that have been, like university children, they have really been mind controlled. That has got to stop in schools. It shouldn't be part of the school. It really shouldn't.
Indoctrination.
It's, do a lesson on it. Yeah, okay, so that people kind of know what it's about. That's okay, but it's got to be balanced on both sides. You've got to see the side of those people, and you've got to see the side of people who just want to live their life normally. But then it's like move on and get back to whatever.
Exactly. And the history is only told or taught and told by the winners. What do you think they're teaching about 911 in school? Do you think they're pushing the official story? Of course they are. Yeah, how much bullshit are our kids listening to?
I know.
Outside of some science basics and mathematics, everything else is and music and gym, but the other subjects are bullshit. You can even say the same thing about literature. Who wrote it? Why was it written? Was it used to influence a specific part of the society at that point in time?
Yeah, it is. I mean, I've got one daughter who homeschools her children because she doesn't want all that bullshit. And then you've got another daughter who thinks her sister is completely nuts. And why are you doing that for? But you've also got then Hallie, my granddaughter, who really is, she gets to Sundays and she's got panic attacks going on because she's got to go to school on Monday. She doesn't want to be there. But I said, do you want to be homeschooled then? And she said, oh, I don't think I'd enjoy that because I'm not mixing with anybody then. Well,
so any interaction's better than no interaction is basically what she's saying.
Yeah. But it's really hard to because my daughter's completely shut. She won't see either side. Megan, she won't see either side. I love you, Megan. If you're watching this, I do. But we can't have a conversation about it. It's such a shame. And I know this is going on with a lot of people. But when they say your child is not allowed to do this, your child is not allowed to do that, your child is like, excuse me, I can homeschool my child anytime I want. Don't you tell me what I can do with my child. That's how I used to be when they used to try and say, my child wasn't allowed any more sick days. It's like, if my child is having a sick day, then she's going to, you're not going to tell me any different. So I was very much like, I used to warn them. I say, you keep pushing my daughter and I'm going to take her out of this school and I'm going to homeschool her. So you either accept that, she's got anxiety or we're going to do this. And they did actually back then lay off her a bit. And she, do you know what? At Rhiannon, she got straight A's, educating herself at home using YouTube clips. Wow. So she was amazing. She did so well. But she got anxiety when she was around a lot of other children, and I think there's a lot of children that do have either ADHD or they've just got they're so open, psychically open. When they hit puberty, all your psychic senses open, and you're then feeling this, you're feeling everybody else's feelings, and that's when paranoia comes in. because your
peer pressure, conformity, all that shit that shouldn't be in society to begin with. It's taught to keep us down, keep us living in fear. That way we're easily subservient and controlled.
That's right. And so, you know, anybody who's got children of a certain age, you know, coming up to puberty, please get them used to wearing crystals. Please get them used to understanding that they need to protect themselves. They need to bubble up. You know, it's so important because somebody's aura is always brushing past yours. If someone's angry, you're going to pick up that mood. So it's so important.
I was mentioning to Ali that I'm 0.6 of a pound away from losing 50 pounds since January 18th. So that's 4 months and 2 weeks. And the day before, I made a video, and this is the day before I started the keto diet. And I was talking about our lag, and we had just gone over to that's what I would. We just had gone over to TalkStream or Talk Studio at that point. The one with 1,000. I just count silently like this, so she would know how long it is. 5 seconds. I forgot what we paid. It was way too much for what it's worth. And I was so pissed off with their customer service. I wrote a couple reviews on software websites about them. It's the lack of customer service that pissed me off more than the lag. Ain't that the truth? Their customer service was horrible, but you can see
you've lost weight off your face. And I really like your hair longer as well. I do. I think you're much better with it longer. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. You're still handsome either way, but yeah.
Thank you. You just have love goggles on.
Yeah. Yeah. So what? I'm allowed.
Just saying.
We better say hello to people, darling, because I can't do it. I can't say hello to anybody.
Aww. I love you.
I love you, darling.
And several times a day I do this, and I know Allie's doing the same thing. I'll just, whatever I'm doing, I'll stop and think of how lucky and how grateful I am to have her in my life.
Yeah, I feel it, my love. I do.
It's true.
Yeah.
I can't wait for her to see my life review, because how many times I think of her and how much I love her. So.
Ditto.
Anyway, let's see what we got for chat. It's been a while. Oh shit, we're way behind. So I'm not going to put them all up. I'll just give a quick shout out to everyone that's been here. And I'll try to catch us up quickly. Thank you, Mel and Claudette, Chrissy, Jeremiah, and Lisa, of course. Franca Ouija from Canada, Bella Swansong. Interesting quote. I will put this one up there. How's everyone doing? How's everyone sleeping? The energies are strong. I can't fall asleep. I'm only sleeping 4 to 5 hours, yet I have a lot of energy. Interesting that you brought it up, because, Franca, because I've had night sweats since catching a rat in my house about 13 feet from my bed on May 30th. Night sweats every night. My shirt's soaked. I have to change it several times a night. So it's interesting that you did bring that up. But yeah, I'm dealing with a lot of shit with the conditions of this trailer. And it's taking its toll. So thank you guys for being here and joining us on Tuesday nights, because it helps get me away a little. I'm doing the best I can to cope with everything.
You are. You're doing so well.
Thank you. There's Lisa, Linda Winger.
Hi.
Linda says, I'm just a little freaked out right now. I had someone do a palm reading for me about a week ago. They just sent me a short black magic spell video. Candles, a heart, and a knife. What the fuck?
Knife might be an athame, which is it's good for cutting the cords and things, but still, with no explanation, that's ridiculous. Why would they want to do that?
That's a good point about the athame. Yeah.
If you want to talk, Linda, yeah, let me know. That must be scary. Yeah.
And those were good points, but once Bella's saying it all began with Ricky Gervais called them all out at the Academy Awards. Next thing was Isaac Cappy.
Yes.
And but once again, it all boils down back to the 90s, the innovation and the newness of the internet, where we could all connect together.
Yep.
And without the internet, that shit, well, the Isaac Cappy thing, no one would have heard of.
Nope. That's it. Look what I just bought off Temu. You've heard of Barbara O'Neill?
No, but I love the premise. Natural remedies, nice.
Natural remedies. Now, Rhiannon will love this, but it's brilliant. Inside, it's got all this, all the things, like for whiplash. There's stuff here for, the womb, and what herbs to use if there's issues anywhere. It's like, and it's what page it's on. It's really good. So, yeah. And so these were really expensive, but I saw it on Temu for just $9.95. So I bought one for Rhea, because Rhea's the one that does all the alternative stuff. She does.
That's great. That's great. I'd love to take a peek at that book next time I go there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Herbs.
She's very well known. Very well known.
All these herbs that you can use.
Herbs. Yes.
Herbs. That's a name. Herbs. That's a herb. Herb Albert.
Not herbs. Oh, Danny Henderson. It's just popped up. Sending you both so much love. Great property to see you here as always. Late at night in England, but serving humanity in your beautiful, sweet, kind, loving ways. Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
We love you, Danny. We do.
I see your brighter light in a brighter light tonight. I've been working on this, Franca. I've been trying. I've been going to the beach more. Ali kept kicking my ass until I did, and she was right. And so did my buddy Chuck.
Yeah,
he was right. Just to get out of this environment, it helps a lot. I have to come back to it, and like I said, I'm having night sweats right now because of it. And as I mentioned too, this really helps too. So being here with Ali and all of you, thank you.
No,
You wouldn't understand this, Ali. Remember when you could buy a desktop from Radio Shack? I don't know if you guys had Radio Shack out there.
No.
But just the name radio. Who buys a radio?
I know there was a song called that had Radio Shack.
Was it Love Shack?
Radio Shack, something like that. Yeah.
Love Shack, yeah. Radio Shack. I don't know.
I don't know. I thought, is it not? I don't know. I thought it was that.
It could be. Hi to Renee O'Neill and Barbara. Frank has got our first question of the night. What's up with Musk's black eye? Let's see if we can get through these greetings first. Hi to Miss, that's a new name, Miss Lily D.
Hello, Miss Lily D. Mrs. Sorry.
Joining us on Facebook.
Good to see you.
Hi to Star Feather. Martel, thank you for being with us. Sonatus, how are you? Thank you for being here.
So new messages pop up on the actual screen, but I can't get into the chat. That's weird, because that's happened before, but I don't understand why.
On occasion that this happens, because most of the time you can see this.
Yeah.
Well, I don't understand either, because most of the time I'm here before you and you enter and you're able to see the aggregate chats from all the other. Yeah. Yeah. It's weird. Chris.
So what does everybody? Oh, sorry, you go.
Chris H says, I gained 6 pounds in 2 days.
Oh, wow. What did you eat? Something nice or drink? So Letitia James has been served federal grand jury subpoena as part. So she actually is trying to use taxpayers' money for her own court case, and they're shutting her down. That isn't going to happen, you know. So she may have to sell one of her properties. Remember, she went after Trump. Well, if he hasn't got this ridiculous amount of money, then we'll have to take one of his buildings with his name on it. We'll have to take one of his. Well, Letitia, same thing. You're going to have to sell one of yours then, aren't you? So saying she put on her mortgage papers that she was married to her father, and she also, in order to get something like a better rate on something, she said that she was living in a certain area when it was impossible, because she was suing Trump over in a different state. And there was one other thing. So 3 big violations that she's done. Nothing to do with what Trump, all he did, is an accountant did, was put it in the wrong frigging column, you know, something stupid.
So what she's doing, she's deflecting. She's got all this shit that she knows she's being corrupt on. So she's saying, look the other way, look at him, don't look at me. Yeah.
Yeah. But you know, she all that time that she was pointing the finger. Yeah. So that's going to be, I'm going to be definitely listening to that court case for sure. Couldn't happen to a better person, as far as I'm concerned.
A quick shout out to some more people here. Hi to Cat, Lilith,
no,
Christine. Who else? There's Danny, and another question. Are you doing predictions? Will you please ask if the 399 ostriches in British Columbia will be saved? Didn't know anything about that, but we can look into that.
Yeah.
And I think that did it for. We got through the list. I got a question for everyone, and you can answer right now too, my love. How much does 1 pound of watermelon weigh? No, if you were to eat 1 pound of watermelon, how much of that weight is water? If you not including, imagine there's not a rind, it's just carved out watermelon. If you had 1 pound of it, how much of that 1 pound is water?
Majority, I would say.
Yeah. So what would you say? If there's 16 ounces, if there's 60, I do. If there's 16 ounces in a pound, how many ounces would you think 1 pound of watermelon would be in water?
10. Higher. 11, 12.
See what,
Someone's saying 98% just come up.
90, yeah. 98%, that's pretty good right there. 1 pound of watermelon gives you 15.34 ounces of water.
Wow.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
Because we were just talking about how we both had watermelon today.
Yeah.
Yeah. So actually, if you did the percentage, I'm going to do that right now. What is the percentage that? So 15.34 divided by 16 equals 95%, almost 96% water. So.
My goodness.
That was surprising. So Linda was probably, or Lisa rather, was probably the closest without overbidding, like The Price is Right, right? Chris, that was a great guess. Yeah, that almost water, all water almost. Yeah, it is. It's virtually mostly water, but it's so good. Whenever I eat watermelon, I always end up burping like within 5 minutes. To me, it's like a great antacid. It's not keto either, but I don't care. It's not horribly bad non-keto food. You can eat it, actually, on keto, you can eat it, just not in moderation. But you shouldn't eat anything in over moderation.
Can I show you this? Look. Have a look at that. Does that not look like the yin and yang to you?
Yeah, it does.
Guess where that was seen?
I don't know.
You know where Trump went over to the Middle East and they were doing all the ceremonies? It's a mixture of the American flag and their flag, and they made it into a yin yang.
And their flag. I don't know what you're talking about when he went over to
the two. He went to the Middle East, didn't he? It's a big ceremony about 2 weeks ago. You don't know about that? Oh my goodness. No. Well, everybody does.
I've been in a funk. I have not paid attention to news.
Yeah. So anyway, it was massive. There was lots of ceremonies, women waving their hair at him, and just honestly
waving their hair at him like this.
They did. There's a ceremony about women wave. These because it's to do with trust. Yeah, it's an old ceremony and things like that. But on the back of the wall, they did a yin and yang, half with their flag and half with the United States. I thought that was really something, because it's the yin and yang. So, yeah.
The message they're sending too is more likely Trump, are part of us, and we support you.
Yes. Yeah. So it was just wanted to add that in. I've been meaning to for a little while.
Barbara O'Neill is amazing.
Yeah, a lot of people have heard of her. But the book is usually, I've seen the book about £30, so when it came up at Temu at $9.95, that's really good. So if anybody does want to grab that, I would.
Time to get funky.
Yeah. Time to get funky, darling.
With her, it's always time to get funky. Oh yeah. Hell yeah.
So yeah, what else do you guys know? What's been happening? There is I'm trying to think. I'm trying to look for the amount of time that the Supreme Court are actually working. Does anybody know that?
I do, because you told me.
Stupid amounts. Yeah, it's like, they're having so much time off, and they're having the whole of August off as well. The whole of August. It's like how.
And then Christmas time, which is when the Federal Reserve was passed, when most of them were out on Christmas vacation. And that's when they passed the Federal Reserve in 1912.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
I'll find it.
But you were saying it was like 15 days, 13 days,
15 days here, 13 days there.
In a month. Yeah.
Why are they doing that? How do they get away with that?
Well, you figure, okay, it's a 5-day work week, so 15 you work three weeks out of 4. What person wouldn't like that?
So 13 days in June, 12 days in July, and taking the whole of August off. You see, the trouble is this is holding up Trump's agenda. So he's done the executive orders, and they're going slow and slow and slow with this. There's got to be a faster process. There has to be.
Yeah, it's called the Council of Elders. I've written about it. I would volunteer for that job. Put me on the Council of Elders, and you'll see the whole fucking world change. Yeah. Get rid of government. Government sucks.
So, with the automatic pen business, they have actually found out who was signing those using that machine. One was Ron Clean, Anita Dunn, Bob Bauer, Steve Raffaetti, and Jill Biden. And so they are going to be going after them.
Good.
There will be, there is a.
Now, would that make everything that was signed not valid?
Well, the pardons for Hunter Biden and Jim Biden, Trump's ignored them completely, and they've just put has just put an order in for an investigation. So they're ignoring those, and they're doing it anyway. So they're going after them. Yeah.
Well, I guess if nothing else, they're going to expose the shit. Even though he has immunity, the shit will get out there, and it'll tarnish his name forever.
Yeah.
That's not good enough. No. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is good stuff. Maxine Waters is in trouble. She campaigned to pay, and she's ordered now to pay $68,000 for violating campaign finance laws.
Good.
So what they're doing is they're going after and auditing some of the Congress, and so that's good.
I saw a video today on her, and she's preaching the same rhetoric that the left preaches. Oh, Trump's a xenophobe, but he's a racist. The only reason people voted for him is because they're racist. But yeah, she's a bigger racist than anyone she names as being racist.
Yes,
she's a very bitter woman. Very, very bitter.
There's like evil coming from her. It's just, like these people are possessed. A lot of them.
I mean, look at her mouth. It's like you couldn't frown. You couldn't force a frown on your face as big as her natural frown. She always looks like she's pissed off, and she is. I mean, she looks as she is, I guess. Yeah, fuck her.
Some more news. What's really going on with Harvard University? Oh, sorry. I'm sorry.
That's all right. Go ahead.
The former director of the morgue in the Harvard Medical School pleaded guilty for trafficking stolen human body parts.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
So who did he plead guilty to? Where was this?
This was obviously, and that's all been hushed in the...
This is Harvard. Where's Harvard? I'm not sure.
Harvard
sure
University. There's
I
all
know
this.
it's Ivy League, but
They've just been demonetized, haven't they? Because they won't let go of the diversity thing.
good. Not good that they won't let go of it, but about being demonetized. Boston. Okay, thank you.
Boston. Yes.
Harvard.
You go.
Fucking Ivy League bastards.
I know.
Fuck them. Fuck them too. Yeah.
You go.
Well, no, this is an interesting topic. What body parts and who was he selling them to?
I didn't write that, my love. I'll have to look it up. But yeah, there was little like bullet points that came up with just a little bit on them. Yeah.
Well, I asked that because I made a post earlier today. Let me do a screen share here real quick.
I'm going to put myself on mute because I'm going to make myself a hot drink, my love. Okay?
Okay, babe. Okay, I posted this earlier on my personal Facebook page. There it is. McDonald's alone serves 68 million people per day. Ain't enough cows in the world to keep up with that demand, yo. Now, let me see if I can make that bigger. And it's hard to read, and I'll read it for you, but what I said here, I wonder how this is possible, and I got the thinking and the emoji. You already know the answer, but for the record, McDonald's sells approximately 6.48 million hamburgers a day. So it's not 68, it's 6.48 million hamburgers a day. This translates to about 75 burgers sold per second. But it still makes you wonder, where do they get all of that beef? And is it part? People have wondered, because when you eat a McDonald's hamburger, it doesn't taste like a ground beef or ground mince as what you have in the UK. It doesn't taste the same as that.
Nope.
It tastes different. Soylent Green? What? I mean, body parts? Who knows? Horse?
Do you think, though, can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Do you think, though, that this is like modified food? I think if there was human meat in there, I think that would have been found out. You know, there's lots of people who want to catch out, you know, McDonald's. So I think that yeah. I'm not saying any of the
you could do a DNA test on the meat to find out. Wouldn't that be interesting to get one of those 23andMe tests and run that and see what it comes up?
Well, they were doing COVID tests, weren't they, on papayas, and it was coming back negative.
Tomatoes, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Franca has the first question of the night.
Mm-hmm.
What's up with Musk's black eye? That's a great question. Because all of a sudden, Musk is no longer doing the Doge thing. He had the issues with, and this is one of the things I got upset over last week on this show, but he had issues with the government not backing him basically. He's uncovered all this corruption and they're not going after anyone. I'd be pissed too. So what happened? Well, he's, as much money as he has, he's being silenced. You know, someone's taking him out. And here's a slow, painful death as well. And a new beginning as well. Something changed. I think, and it could have been by the invisible hand, the invisible force kind of power. Something had to teach him a lesson. That's what I'm getting. Something that knew he was making way too much progress in getting the truth out there. And it sucks because we're all on the side of truth, love, and light. And bless him for doing what he did with Doge and exposing all this shit. But if nothing's going to come of it, if people aren't getting arrested over the corruption of it, then wasn't that all for naught? Pisses me off. Should piss you off too. Let's see what Ali has. I got to go pee.
Got the extra information there. Let me hide my printer. That's it. Hide the mess there. Hide the mess. So I got when I did my dice. I'm trying to do it so that you can see it. I got 6, 6, 6, and 6. Okay, so but my guide said to me that that's who he's going after. Okay. He has changed sides, and that's who he's going after. I later on, during the same day that he was seen, there was no black eye. So I'm wondering whether or not they're trying to drop hints about the next things that they're going to be exposing, which is, you know, the black eye clubs and things like that. This sort of thing. So whether or not it's that. So I asked whether or not that, you know, there was anything in it. Okay, the black eye. And I didn't get anything sinister regarding that. So, Elon, he was always supposed to leave at this time. It was said right from the beginning that this is when he was going to go back to his businesses. He was going to give it this amount of time. But Doge is continuing. And the White House and Trump gave him a golden key to the White House, meaning that he can come and go whenever he wants to. And so he's not really going anywhere. And the other thing is the Doge money. Trump is not going to leave that. He is going to be pushing that and then making it happen. So it's not going to be for nothing. Everything will happen. So I wonder if there is as many corrupt people in Congress that if they take them all out, there won't be enough people to work for us. Well, I don't think there need to be as much, like Greg said. Maybe that would be the point of then having, you know, elders. So do you really need all of the corruption, all the people? You know, get businessmen in there who can really, you know, run a country in a sufficient way. You know, people who've got practical sides to them, or some spiritual people who actually, you know, understand what everybody needs.
It can't just be businessmen. It can't just be spiritual. It has to be a blend. And their only job would be work in the best interests of humanity. That's it, in whatever area you've been assigned to. And you can vote on them every month or so, and they have to be 100% transparent and accountable for everything that they do. So at the end of 1 month, they have to meet with the public and say, I did this, that, and this, or maybe every day, maybe every week, once a week, I did this, that, and the other. Okay, great. You can continue doing what you're doing.
Yeah. Yeah. And then our reps, if there is a very few senators or representatives, Yeah, I couldn't read that quick enough.
Let me scroll down. I'll see if I can get to it. Well, Martel said, "Oh, let's go to his previous one." I wonder if there are so many corrupt people in Congress that they have taken them all out. Wouldn't taking them all out there wouldn't be enough people to work for us, and as what Martel said earlier, and then went on to say, I mean our reps. If there are very few senators or representatives in the House, because there's a shitload of representatives. I contacted one of mine recently, Greg Stubbe. But yeah, number one, the term, there's got to be term limits. Number two, if Congress didn't support Elon Musk and everything that Musk has uncovered, that tells me there's corruption on both sides of Congress because they're getting paid off. And they're afraid that their cushy little jobs are at stake, which they would be, and they should be. That's what got me so pissed off last week. At least I got my out of it this week.
Maybe you should go and buy some Haribos, because apparently there has been cannabis in Haribos, and they've had to recall some of them over here in the UK.
Haribos? What's a Haribo?
Haribos are those jelly sweets that all the children are like getting high on friggin' cannabis, on Haribo sweets.
Okay. Just never heard them called that. Interesting.
Isn't it funny, isn't it? Yeah. Are you doing predictions? Would you please ask? Oh, yes. Okay.
Actually, I'm going to do a screen share just for you, Linda. And I'm sure you have seen this. Just takes a second to set it up on our new platform, but bear with me. Okay, I gotta hide the question real quick. Whoops, don't want that one. I don't know, none of these seem to be working, but anyway, the top picture, you're looking at Fidel Castro, Cuban dictator, and Margaret Trudeau, who is Trudeau's mom. And then on the bottom, you're looking at Trudeau and Castro. How much alike do they look? And my quote was, makes you wonder, Canada, eh? I mean, they look. Could that be father and son? Hell fucking yeah. Why does he act the way he does? Like father, like son. And I'm sure everyone in Canada has seen that, and most people in the United States, but to see that, those pictures, and then the side by side,
Yeah.
Makes
well, he's been training for this role all his life, probably.
Literally all his life.
Mind controlled, and most of them have terrible time. Did you see the slap of Macron and his? She's like grabbed him in her red jacket and on the plane. Yeah, she was whacking him about. There's loads of memes about them scrapping and him pulling her hair off, and so yeah, it was. You didn't see it. I'll have to send it to you, love.
Nice funny. Mug. Nice mug you got there. Yeah. I saw a video on X about. I should put them up on the Etsy channel if anyone wanted one. Mm-hmm. I saw a video though of whatever Macron's husband's name is. What's his name? The blonde-haired dude.
Don't know, but she definitely gave him a whack, and the plane door opened, and she didn't realise it was open, and she literally grabbed him. And then they had to kind of they disappeared for a little while, and then they came back, and everybody was like, you know, pretended nothing happened. So very funny.
The video I saw was of her shaking these military's people's hands, and the look on the military, couple of these guys, they shook his hand, her hand, whatever you want to say. They're like, it is funny. So anyway, Linda did have a question. Let's see if we can get to it. There it is. Linda's asking, are you doing predictions? Will you please ask if the 399 ostriches in British Columbia will be saved? I know nothing about this.
Ready? Look, ready? Did you see that?
Not really. Let me get off the screen.
Yeah. So,
send that to me on Messenger. Because I'm like, did I blank?
Other ones that are better that don't come up with stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just crazy stuff. And Trump was asked about it as well. He was asked about it in one of the press conferences, and he said, well, I think they should make sure that the plane doors are closed properly before they kind of have those sort of talks or something, he said. Anyway, I'll let you answer this. Okay.
Like I said, I don't know a lot about this. There's, let me look it up real quick, because actually I don't know anything about this. Because maybe this will help with the cards I've drawn. I'm trying to make sense out of them. I'm still struggling to find out. Oh, okay. So it says that they were hit by avian flu. 399 ostriches in questions are located at a Universal Ostrich Farm in Edgewood, British Columbia. The farm is facing a cull order of the Canadian Food Inspection Agency, CFIA. It's like our FDA, I'd imagine, due to an outbreak of avian flu. Bullshit. Well, I guess that kind of helps me see what the cards are saying. And what I'm getting now is that there's multi-levels on this. There's so many things, that different agendas that this all gets compiled into. And none of it is good. And Trudeau has a part in this as well. I got two more cards on this because they came out at the same time. And one was the Hanged Man, to look at things from a different perspective. And then I see Celebration. So this may be allowed to happen, or at least play through, unfortunately at the expense of the ostriches. But it's going to expose the corruption that led to this happening to begin with. Sucks for the ostriches. I wish I could tell you something more or something better. That's what the cards say. Trudeau's behind it, though. Yeah.
Well, my cards are hard to read as well. I mean, the first card out was kind of the Five of Pentacles, which is a lack of energy. I feel that there's not enough outrage with this. So I don't know if there's been not enough publicity about it. So I feel that if there was more publicity, then something more could be done. But at the moment, there's not, because we've got the public announcement card, which means that sometimes that can it can sway things. But you've got the Moon card, which obviously it's good or bad. You know, it could go either way. So I don't feel as if it's a definite, but I do feel that it needs more exposure. Yeah.
Want more exposure from me?
No, but well, not right now. Not right now. But later, yes.
Franca said that Canadian government wants to kill the ostriches because one of the 400 tested for a bird flu. The kicker is that these birds are on a testing farm where scientists are studying them. I wonder what it is they're studying. Maybe injecting one of them to see if the others will get infected. First thing that came to my mind is for entertainment purposes only.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Oh. This world is so cruel sometimes. Just, yeah. I don't want to see any more cruelty with animals at all. Full stop.
Yeah. Chris said she's on Facebook tonight. I can see when I comment, after I hit enter, it disappears. I can see anyone else's comments. I think she meant I can't see. Where are they? Well, we see them at least. You know, I can't explain what's going on.
Greg does. Yes. I sometimes see the new messages come up very small on the screen, but then I can't see them. So.
Oh, that's what she's saying about the screen messages down here. Okay.
Right.
And that was a while ago. That was a while ago. Let me see. I'm just scrolling for questions. Danny said, Greg, do people know you led the charge before 2012? You were ahead of your time. You did conferences on Atlantis and beyond. You're so shadow banned. It is insane. Can people please share? Oh, thank you, Danny.
Thank you, Danny.
I've been doing this since about 2006 or so with my original Maya website. And then in 2009, I got that galactic download to build In5d. Been doing it ever since. So it's been a while. It's been over, almost 20 years almost.
It's so true. Thank you, Danny. It is true. And we do kind of we don't do it enough, but we really do need you guys to share it. Just one place each. You know, you don't have to share it on your page. You know, sometimes that's not, you don't want to do that, but there are groups out there that you could share it to.
Yeah.
So it's true. Thank you, Danny.
Yeah, it's tough, and I hate, you know, I don't want to beg, but we're so shadow banned to that point where just out of 150,000 followers on YouTube, we should get more than 200 views. Out of 400,000 followers on the In5d Facebook page and the In5d YouTube page, we should be having thousands of people watching right now. But because we're shadow banned, we're lucky to get a handful. It ain't right.
It's not right, but we keep going, don't we, my love?
We do. We do. Mentoring me, consider having. Not right now. Sorry, bro. But no, I got too much shit going on in my life.
You wouldn't want to
I'm not saying that you would be, yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
what bed?
You've got nowhere to put him anyway.
No, I don't. I have a 1-bedroom trailer. Yeah. Yeah, we're not doing personal readings, Tammy. This is global predictions, but there are times that Ali pops on and does them.
I will be doing that soon. I'm still doing my Patreon readings at the moment, so yeah, I'm just getting through those. So yeah.
I think that you're going to be involved in politics somehow because you'd be really beneficial. Thank you, Final Countdown, and welcome to the show.
Yeah.
Appreciate you being here.
Final Countdown. That's a new name, isn't it? Is that a new name?
It is, yeah.
Let us know if you're new here. We like to know.
I like what I mentioned, Final Countdown. I believe that the world would be a better place if we had a council of elders that we could vote on once a month. They have to be transparent at least once a week. I'd volunteer for that job. I'd work for free, expose all the patents that could benefit humanity. And that's the only job people would have if they were assigned to specific sectors of society, is just work in humanity's best interests. I would gladly volunteer for that. Let me see if we have any other questions. And we're totally cool. Yeah, we're caught up, and we're totally cool just chatting and hanging out with you guys as well.
There's some news from the Democratic governor of Hawaii. Josh Green has officially signed the first climate change tax into the US into law. It's labeled a green fee. The tax will target tourists onto Hawaii, requiring them to contribute for their own carbon footprint. Cruise ship passengers will also be included in this, paying a prorated tax based on how many days their ship is in port. Really? How is this going to help? People going there for a holiday. I mean, it's just nuts, isn't it?
I saw the video on that. And number one, the dude's not even Hawaiian. How could he represent what they think and feel? And how did he get into power to begin with? We all know the answer, through corruption. Hawaii's a huge liberal state. Fuck them. Not the people, the government. I would love to someday go to Hawaii.
Yeah.
I think it's a beautiful, beautiful state. Well, islands.
I'd like to go. Yeah.
Someday, maybe.
Some good news about Trump. We've got some good news here. So, SCOTUS, the Supreme Court, has just handed Trump full control of all independent federal agencies. He can now remove anyone independent federal agency funded by the taxpayers. So he's allowed to fire and hire whenever he wants to now. So these judges are just trying to take over. So I think he's now taking back control over that. I
wonder what's meant by independent agencies. Obviously not government agencies.
That's right? How it was said, independent federal agencies.
Oh, federal. You're right. Okay. So it is government agencies. Good. Yeah. Good. Fuck most of them, if not all. What a waste of money.
Yeah.
And then people say
sorry, you go.
People say it's a waste of taxpayers' money. The tax goes to England. The United States is shit. It's a bunch of crap. If you believe that bullshit, and how they can just type in numbers. You were telling me the other day about how they were punching in numbers for something.
Yeah, computers. Yeah. About 4 computers that are literally, they are not, there's no code to it. They just spew out money. And
they can send money to any account. Yeah. They can send money to any account without any accountability.
And Doge found those. Yep. Doge found those. American seniors are getting ready to see an increase on their Social Security. Trump said, like the other two, tips and overtime, no tax on Social Security is being done also, but in a different form, a large deduction after which many will have no tax to pay. Trump says promises made, promises kept.
Right on. My daughter's a bartender in New York.
Yep.
She relies on tips, so that would be sweet for her.
Yeah. Tulsi Gabbard, Director of National Intelligence, has just declassified records showing how the Biden admin team coordinated with big tech, media, and intel agencies to censor Americans and crush dissent. So all of this is coming out slowly, isn't it? So,
but like with what Elon did with Doge, there has to be results.
We've got to see something. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, he's putting the results out there, but what good are the results if they're not going after the criminals that are perpetuating all this?
Yeah, exactly. So now Elon Musk, when he was like Trump, big saying goodbye to him and thanking him for his work and everything, Musk had on a T-shirt that said "Occupy Mars."
Oh, Jesus.
But think about that. A lot of people, in fact, if Danny's in the chat,
she is.
I can't remember the lady's name. What's the lady's name? Elena Dannon. She says that it's already occupied. Okay, so if Trump's saying occupy Mars, are they bad people on Mars? In which case Elon's gonna wage war. We just don't know. Why would he put it like that? Occupy Mars.
Wilcock has a video called Jump Room to Mars and talks about being able to instantly be able to transport yourself from here to there like that.
Wow.
And I think that's, I forgot, actually, no, I can't remember the person's name that he got that information from. It's on the tip of my tongue. I just, it doesn't matter, but there are several people that have said that's true. Whether it is or not, I don't know, but is it possible? Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
I read that?
Yep. You want me to read it? Sorry. 2025 to 2027 would be the great departure of those who have been named watchers. Interdimensional plasma beings would be linked to UFO phenomena and satanic ritual, true or false. Oh, this is new. Are you a new name as well, Richard?
Yeah, that's Richard Cardinal.
Yeah.
Okay. Welcome aboard, Richard. Thank you for the question. I gotta dissolve this one and figure out what these cards mean.
Okay.
In relation to it. Great departure of those who have been named watchers, interdimensional plasma beings, would be linked to UFO phenomenon and satanic resentment. There's a lot in that, and I'm not feeling the link specifically to UFOs and satanic ritual, although there are probably demonic entities that are alien, extraterrestrial, but not for the majority. The Watchers, would that be like the Guardians? I'm not sure about that. Interdimensional plasma beings. And once again, that could be some of these races that are not benevolent. You could have malevolent races that. So the great departure. So what are you saying? What I'm getting, I just had to seep in this for a little while and try to understand it. And what I think you're asking is, are the negative entities and the interdimensional beings who are linked to UFO phenomena and satanic ritual, will there be a departure of them between 2025 and 2027? And that explains the first card out. We got the Devil card. And we also have the Four of Cups. That there's a lot of worry on that. A lot of they're concerned because we're catching up to their bullshit, and I don't think they can stop no one can stop the force of love. That's trumps every other emotion out there. I also I see a celebration going on. Now, I wouldn't think personally, in my own opinion, I don't think it would happen in the next 2 years, or possibly ever, because Earth is based on duality and polarity, the yin and the yang, the light and the dark. And there's so many beneficial lessons that can be learned. It just went way too extreme on both ends. It wasn't supposed to be like this. So myself personally, I don't see that ever happening, because the Earth is a university, right? But yeah, I see celebration. I drew a celebration card on that. So, and maybe that means something more along the line of that we move away from this as a I don't know, as a conglomerative, that something may happen in that time period, like the solar flash or something major that moves us away. When I had a vision of the solar flash, and Richard, your name seems new here. Welcome aboard. You may not have heard me talk about this, but I had this vision where I was standing in front of myself when the solar flash happens and everything is filled with light. At that moment, money, government, religion, none of that shit matters. You're filled with this unconditional love to the magnitude you've never experienced before. The best way I can explain this is to envision the people, the person, the things that you love the most. Magnify that by 1,000,000. I was basking in this when this happened to me. Basking in that unconditional love to a magnitude never felt. I had an In5d meetup on a beach where this registered nurse was one of the people in attendance. I should start them back up again. But she was telling us how she had a near-death experience. And when she crossed over to the other side, she was shown the exact same thing that I explained. The same feeling, that undescribable feeling indescribable feeling of unconditional love to a magnitude never experienced before. So, to answer your question, is it possible that this celebration that I'm seeing could be the solar flash? Because I'm not feeling that it's the end of polarity and duality on 3D Earth, but I think it's more of perhaps moving into a different stage of spiritual progression. Hope that answers your question. Welcome to In5d. Let's see what Ali has to say while I go pee again.
This is a tricky one to answer, really. So named the Watchers. Okay, so obviously you say that they're linked with the off-worlders. So I got a celebration. I got the celebration card, and I know Greg got the celebration card. It's like they've got an important message to give to their people. It's like they're reporting back information about what has been happening to the planet, what's been happening. So it's like they've been here experiencing it. They have been around around the human race. They've been around that, but they've also been logging in and understanding more about the corruption, and and I believe there's demonic energies that are overshadowing the people in power. So this is the information that is going to go back is very vital and very important. So I do feel that. But I feel as if there is going to be an communication with the off-worlders in a very big way. I'm seeing it like the disclosure that everybody's waiting to experience. The disclosure will happen. There will be somebody who is a representative, I feel, of maybe various races. Okay, there's going to be but one lady in particular I feel is a very strong female, but I feel that she's going to announce herself as not being completely human. So there's going to be talks and negotiations about technology and all sorts of things. So they're just waiting for more people to heighten their energy up, but it's going in the right direction. So I don't know. I don't quite know if that answers your question or not, but that's what was given to me. So that was it. So I think Greg got the celebration card too.
I like my answer better.
What?
I like my answer better. The solar flash and unconditional love, the magnitude of something most people never experience, I think. Let's see.
Would that not be going to heaven, though, how you feel about going to heaven? So does that mean everybody's wiped off the planet?
Not at all. I didn't see myself die. There was no pain. There was just love. There was just love. That's it.
Alrighty.
Martel has our next question.
Okay.
Hey, how about a Hawaii question? Will the Hawaiians actually get their country back? So let's
good question.
Let's take a look. Pick a few cards for you and see where it goes. Okay. Wow. There's, for Hawaii and Hawaiians, it's gonna take a tower moment. There's gonna be something that happens that I believe brings you to the point of where people have just had enough. And you can either keep the same shit going on or you can change direction. But justice is coming. The truth will win. So the people in Hawaii, hang in there. That tower moment's going to happen. But that's going to lead to the exposure and where you take it from that point, which seems favorable in this situation. That's what I have. Isn't she hot? Wow. Hottest goddess.
Oh, for you, yes, I hopefully I am. So what I'm getting is that they've had their moment, and they were caught off guard in the most vulnerable way with obviously what happened to them. I'm seeing that the off-worlders are actually keeping a very close eye on Hawaii, and I feel there is going to be the exposure of the likes of Oprah Winfrey, you know, buying up property there, and other people buying up property there. That's all going to be exposed, and I feel that those people will lose their properties. They will lose, and it will be, you know, they'll be seen to be trafficking children and trafficking adults. That's all going to come out very, very soon. I feel this year it's going to be, and so they will then have the chance to take back their country at that point, you know, and that will come from the exposure. But I've always seen a very strong female. It keeps coming up in the cards as well, that this strong female is going to become a very big leader and leading the way. And, you know, not as popular as Trump, but very, very popular. Real big personality. That is going to be helping with the exposure. So. Yes, the answer is yes, it is coming. So there you go. That's what so there is big things going on with supposedly no free speech, and thank you to America for exposing this, because without that we would be very vulnerable. So Lucy Connolly was jailed for 31 months for one tweet, and it was after the Southport children murdered. Three or four children were macheted to death in Southport, and it created this huge uproar because it was from a migrant, and the government they hid it, and everybody knew it was this person that did it, and so there was a lot of you know, police raids and riots and all sorts of things going on there. There was outrage, understandably outrage. People were just you know, infuriated because of the cover-up and the two-tier system that's going on there. And so this Lucy spoke out about it in her rage. She said some things that she shouldn't have really said. They weren't that bad. It was just like, you know, she was just fed up with the two-tier system. Anyway, next day, she is then arrested and sentenced to 31 months in prison. So, you know, she came up for trying to reduce her sentence, and but she got refused. Tommy is out. Tom Robinson is out of prison right now, and he's doing a lot of interviews and things, but he looks very, very thin, very gaunt. But he, you know, a lot of his fans people that have supported him and been writing letters to him. This one lady who was terminally ill, and this woman wrote to him expressing, you know, hang on in there, you're loved, it's okay. All the time she was terminally ill. Anyway, he surprised her with going to see her, and she said she wanted to give him a hug, and he came and he said, I've come for my hug. So this terminally ill woman gave Tommy a hug. There's a lot of love out there, a lot of respect for Tommy, and that's what they're frightened of. They're frightened of him because he speaks the truth.
So this woman who has who knows how long to be on this planet did that.
Yeah.
That's touching.
Yes.
It is.
So, and you know, he made a point of going to see her and thanking her for keeping him going, because solitary confinement for the amount of time that he was in there, it's not heard of. You should not be in solitary confinement. And they were messing about with visitors passes and things like that, saying, you know, no, you can't go and see him today. You know, after people were flying in from, you know, America or wherever, and then they refused to let them see him. It's just, they are clearly very frightened of him. So,
and they should be. He's a hero.
He is.
Julian Assange, same thing, hero.
Yeah. Well, Julian Assange wants to have a meeting with Trump because he's got information about Hillary and some of the others as well. He wants to see him face to face.
We all want that.
Yeah.
The getting back up, you know, I was researching who that person was that Wilcox spoke about in the jump room to Mars, and it was Henry Deacon.
Okay.
That gave that information. And I think, what's his face? God, Basiago, Andrew Basiago. I think he's talked about that as well. So, you know, is there a jump room? I don't know. Is it possible? Yep. Got a couple people talking about it. So.
Yep. I wish there was a jump room from here to there. That would be lovely. Yeah. It's so nice.
Jump there. I'd jump you.
Guys, it's nearly been a couple of years, all right? So, you know.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. I think we cope very well.
We do. Thank God. Thank Creator, Source, Universe, for as much as we put it down, Facebook and Messenger, because we get that FaceTime, and every time, like today, I called Ali on Messenger, video call, and she goes, "Hello, my love," and I couldn't say anything. I was just, because she puts a big smile on my face every time I see her, and I'm just soaking in her. And she had very little makeup on, and she was putting her makeup on while I'm just like sitting there ogling her. But it just, I'm just so grateful to see her and
me too.
Her presence and feel her energy despite the distance. But we can feel each other's energy anyway. We know when someone's having a bad day or when things are going good. And it's because of our energy that you were able to find me in my dreams back in 2009 or so.
Oh, yeah. And this is something everybody can do. You can all tune in with your twin at any time.
Mm-hmm.
So ask the universe.
I was thinking about that today. Just to get away from everything. I was thinking about, you coming to me in my dream, me thinking that you were on the other side of the veil, and then seeing your picture on Tabadina's Facebook page when he and I were having a beach meetup, and I wanted to make sure that I had friended all his friends that had sent me friend requests, and then I see your face, and I'm like, oh my God, she's here. couldn't believe it. Here you are, and here we are, married.
Nuts, isn't it? It's completely nuts.
In my eyes, it's the greatest love story ever. That you traveled interdimensionally to find me, and then I had to find you in 3D world, but not tell you what I had seen or experienced, and to let you figure it out. But once I told you, when you were giving me a reading, I believe in you. It all kicked in on your side.
It wasn't during the reading,
wasn't it?
No, it was after, when we was chatting about things. Yeah. And you said those words to me, and I was like, you said that to me before in many lifetimes. And then I had the vision of your face, different kind of like hairstyles and different color hair, but always the face. And it was all different. It was all just different kind of lifetimes that we'd had together. Yeah.
And you feel it when it happens. You'll feel that synergy between you and your twin.
Yeah.
It's an amazing thing. Anyway,
definitely.
We should probably wrap things up here, because I know Allie's had she's had a little pain, and
I couldn't do the astrology because I was having a bad time of it, so I couldn't do it. I might come on and do something. I don't know, but yeah.
Is there anything you want to wrap up with, my love, before we sign off?
No, just if anybody would like a reading, you can go over to PsychicAlly.net, and or you can sign up on either mine or Greg's Patreon. There's lots of extra different tiers doing different things. You know, for as little as $1.11, you can support Gregg or myself. It really does mean a lot to us. You can meet up with Gregg and I on, for me, it's the last Thursday of the month. For Gregg, it's the first Wednesday of the month. But we're invited to both. So if you sign up for mine, you're still invited to Gregg. So you have 2 meetups with me and Gregg once a month. And it's fun, isn't it?
Tomorrow is the In5d Insiders Club private chat. So I'll be sending that link out tomorrow. And I you know, you can, whoops, what do I have? You can check out In5d VIP. There's a lot of stuff going on there. And In5d.net Quantum Tie-Dye as well. Let's see if I can find, there it is. Check that out. If you want a cool shirt like this, high vibrational, high energy shirt. And that's pretty much it for me. I'm just so grateful for all of you, especially her, the hottest goddess. You guys help me get through a tough time that I'm going through right now. So thank you for being there and distracting me from everything that's going on here in my mobile home. So thank you for that. And until the next time, we're sending you lots of love and light from our hearts to yours.
Yes. We love you all very much.
Big time. Take care, everyone.
Bye. Bye.
Go Chiefs.